Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and today I'm going to make a video as a favor for a guy up in Canada. It seems he's been casting his own bullets, and of course when you cast a bullet you have to size them. Now this is a bullet. This is a cartridge. There's always a lot of mix-up when referring to what you're talking about. But this is a cartridge. It's got bullet, powder, primer, the whole schmear. This is a bullet, the projectile. Alright? If you take up competitive shooting, one of the first things you're going to notice is that the competition's better than you. Unless you're one of those exceptional people like 22 Pinkster or something. And you're going to figure out that the only way that you're going to get to be as good as them, or maybe even better, is to practice. And practice, now, depending on what you're practicing with, it can start costing a lot of money. If you're practicing with a 45, you can pay right 40 cents a shot. And it's going to take not tens of rounds or hundreds of rounds, it'll take thousands of rounds of ammunition for you to get good. Myself, I go through at least 10,000 rounds of 22 long rifle every year, and that's conservatively speaking, you know. So that's why people discover that they can cast their own bullets and reload their own ammo, and it cuts the price way down. It gets you down to about, say, a 45 can be down around 10 or 12 cents a round maybe. So anyway, to help with this little reloading thing, I've got this machine. So once you start casting your own from lead, well, you find out that a lot of times they're just not the right size. They'll be a couple of thousandths off, maybe too big or whatever, hopefully not too small. So they make devices to solve this problem. It's called a bullet sizing die, and it's a hard metal, really smooth, and it's got a hole in it the exact size that your bullet should be. And usually you have a press with a little ram sticking up. You set the bullet on top of it, push it up through the die, and when it comes out the top of the die, it falls over into a little red cup. Well, that takes a long time, and I get my fingers caught in the thing about half the time. So I watched a fellow down in Australia, and he made a machine where you could just stack the bullets in a little tube and just crank your handle and go at it, and one right after the other, size the bullets and get the job done pretty quick, and never get your fingers caught like I do. And please excuse my voice, because I've still got this wonderful cold that I picked up in Chicago. Okay, all right, I'm going to move the camera around and I'll show you a few things here, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a ruler or something to show the sizes of things, because I told this fellow in Canada, he wanted to know if I had any drawings. Well, no. I watched the video and I made this up, and each piece I fitted to the size I needed by, you know, hit or miss, and it works for me. So that way I didn't have any drawings, of course, to say how big anything was. But if you pause the video as I go along, you can build one of these yourself. Although I expect that most of you are not even going to watch the video, but what the heck, it doesn't matter, because YouTube's going to demonetize it anyway. Alright, let me move the camera around. Alright, this is the little container that the bullets go in when they've been sized. This is a sizing die, and you screw this thing in, pull this plastic off. You screw this thing into your usually a little single stage press, and then when you push the bullet in, this guy is sitting on the top like that. This guy is screwed into the press, and the bullet gets pushed up from the bottom here, pushed up into the die. Of course, this die is not the right size for this bullet. I think this is probably a 9mm die. And then it comes off the top and stays in this little bucket. And that's wonderful. You know, if you're not doing a whole lot, that's great. But if you got about, 40 or 50 pounds of them to do, or 100 pounds, you need to, move on quite a lot. Let me remove everything. We'll set the camera up again. Alright, I've changed the position of this TV tray so that we can have a better view of what we're doing here. I'm going to set this ice cream bucket on the floor. Now, these bullets have already been sized, and the fact they've been powder coated and sized, and these weren't done by me. I bought them commercially because I got tired of casting the little buggers, which I know I am with the machine, and I'm buying somebody else's powder coated bullets. But I just got tired of it. I guess because I'm lazy. Now what we got here, turn this guy around so you can see. We've got a tube here with bullets in it. We've got a little piece of metal that I call the shuttle that the bullets fit into. When you drop them in there, they fit into this little guy. They stick up a little bit so that the next bullet won't fall down in there and get dragged on the hole. And they'll be pointing downwards like that. They'll be pointing downwards. This guy moves sideways and drops the bullet in the sizing die. We'll give a little shot of it right here. And I guess probably they'll fall in my ice cream bucket. Now, I don't do this on a TV tray normally, but then these should work really easy. Alright, that one went in the die, and soon they'll start falling out. Actually, the die will hold more than one. And what you do is you just keep shuttling this guy back and forth. The bullets fall down the tube into the hole in the shuttle. Shuttle comes over, drops it down into the die. Simple enough even a redneck can understand. And you can just keep on sizing the bullets until your arm falls off. Alright, now then, what I had to make for it, like I showed, was I had to make different size shuttle for the different size bullets. This is for 9mm and 38 and 380. It fits them. This guy down here fits 45s. Now I'm going to turn it around a little bit so you can get a better view. The thing doesn't fall over. If you look at this, this is a Lee single stage press turned upside down. This is the wide bottom of it. This is the handle that comes with it. This isn't the linkage that came with it. I made that linkage separate, but in fact I didn't use any of the Lee linkage, I don't think, anywhere there. This is a tube that comes with reloading stuff, such as the bullet feeder for a press. All right. This guy is made and sized to fit the 9mm and 38 and such. So that means these two guys go together. There's a couple of holes in the bottom that I put bolts through. The reason for that is this slide, this shuttle slides back and forth on a little ramp that's suspended on a couple of bolts, and it runs maybe the tiniest bit downhill. And the little shuttle's got a bolt in the side, so this piece right over here can fit right over it, and this yoke runs it back and forth. Okay, you can see that it guides the shuttle back and forth. Now the reason for these springs is when you get to the top of the stroke, or especially to the bottom of the stroke, you've moved the shuttle all it needs to be moved. You don't need to move it anymore. But if you got solid linkage, it'll want to keep on going. So the spring allows this arm here to come down without moving the little shuttle anymore. Takes all the pressure off of it. Now going up, there's hardly any kind of a problem, because when you go up, you stop right there where the hole lines up with the hole in this base. Now I'm going to get a ruler and sort of hold it two things here, and I think probably the measurements are probably not going to be that important. There's just to see what I did, and you can copy it from there. But hang on. Alright, the start of the measurements, this little guy for doing the 45s has got a hole that's just about 3/8. I don't know. It's about .362. I don't know how I came up that way. .370, somewhere in that area. Alright, the overall length of it, which is not necessarily that important, the overall length is 3.99 inches, almost 4. Lost a little bit rounding the end. These bolt holes, they're number 10, I think. They seem to be about 0.84 inches apart. That's because of the size of length of the slot that I cut in this piece here. Okay, now this guy for the 9mm tube, he's .375. He fits 9s, 8s, 38s, 8s. He fits 9s, 38s, 380s, that sort of thing. And that's to hold this tube here. And the thread on the bottom of it's up to you, naturally, any way you want it. Alright, so this rod here, you get the larger measuring device and turn this thing over so I can see what you see. Okay, so the rod here is about 7 inches long. Alright, it's a quarter 20 all thread with a couple of nice springs on it. I picked them out at the hardware store, and I don't remember what particular size. They're reasonably strong, but not terribly strong. Alright, so let's look over here. The little pedestal